He's on the phone now, and it's likely that he's going to be calling his boss, and we may have to move on here to get some other stories.
To see what is going on.
Anglo Gold Ashanti dominates the economy in this area. Local people are frightened, angry and fed up, but I'm determined to put their complaints to one of the company's bosses. I'm still waiting for you to take a sip to prove to me that it's pure.
Be careful you don't drink it.
Way to the local HQ of one of Ghana's most powerful gold mining companies, Anglo Gold Ashanti, to confront the bosses. Local people say they are intimidated by the police and military who protect the mines, and they claim mining has polluted their water supplies. Let me show you something that I picked up. This is some water from one of the boreholes.
Yeah.
What should the people who have to drink this water, because there's no other water, it's contaminated, all I want to know is, what should I go back and tell them?
Tell them that we are aware of the problem.
And what should they do?
We are trying to find a holistic approach.
You're trying to find a holistic solution. I'm still waiting for you to take a sip to prove to me that it's pure.
Be careful you don't drink it.
In the meantime, if you're in one of these communities, the water you drink makes you feel ill.
The issue is that the obuasi or body is associated with sulfur. This was given to us by God. Do you know that?
So you're saying that the water
let me tell
contamination so the arsenic is natural?
Immediately you disturb the rock formation, you unleash all these things to the environment.
Yeah.
But it's not only mining which unleashes these things.
Yeah.
Farming is one, illegal mining is one.
Yeah.
Even the government constructing roads.
The young men I spoke to in one village yesterday showed me the scars that they had from a beating which took place last month, which was witnessed by hundreds of people because they were taken from village to village and beaten in front of people. They claim that, as well as your own security, the army is there, and the army's been there for some time.
I'm not aware of any beatings of illegal mining by our security. If our security arrest an illegal miner or a trespasser or a pure armed robber, they hand them over to the national police. What happens there, to me, is not my concern. All that I want to see is that the guy is sent to court and maybe put at the place where he belongs.
In prison?
Yeah.
I leave feeling frustrated, but something had sunk in. The next day, Mr. Owasu agrees to meet some local people to discuss pollution, demands for compensation, and whether AGA is going to fill in the toxic pit at Bin Saray. Over an hour and a half, years of anger and frustration come flooding out. Can the company develop a program of training for the young men who are over 6 and looking for work?
It's something that they have already planned, but this is an opportunity they are using to tell them.
Okay. We don't know what jobs it is, and we don't know how long it will take. Lots of people have spoken to me about the pollution.
That is one thing. Immediately, we are going to have a look at.
They are going to address the water situation.
Rehabilitation of
The pit.
Will have to happen
immediately.
now.
What are they going to do about the problem of compensation?
If the government says you have to pay such an amount for this number of this thing, AGA cannot pay beyond that.
You can pay above it if you want to. You can pay. They can pay above it. Well, that's quite a meeting. I thought that the British were experts in fudging things and procrastinating, but I'm disappointed that there wasn't some kind of olive branch from the company to give the people real hope. AGA say they are currently testing the water to try to get to the bottom of the contamination problem, but they still haven't filled in the pit at Bin Saray, and there's little progress on the compensation disputes. Over the last month, I've followed the story of 3 high street products, and whether it's gold, rice or cocoa, we as consumers should be worried, very worried. Ghana has so many resources, yet the people are so poor. Is there anything we can do for this amazing country? As I ponder this huge question, my thoughts keep returning to Alara and Baba, the children I met working on the cocoa farm. I said I'd help them, and I must go back. I've got your school uniform as I promised. There's your school uniform, so you can go to school. For Alara, it's your sewing machine. One of the things that really freaked me out was the fact that they had no conception of what chocolate was. So I thought I'd bring them a bar today just to actually show them what their labour produces. You've never had chocolate either. Tell him I want to see what he thinks of the taste.
That it's sweet, but it also has a bitter taste.
It's sweet, but it also has a bitter taste, and that really sums up perfectly the issues of cocoa and chocolate here. Yay! Yay! Woo!
Ah, it's so nice.
Look, ready for school now. Ready for school. Ready for school. Children like Baba shouldn't be relying on acts of charity from me or anyone else, nor should his country. Yet Ghana is typical of many African nations. My journey is nearly over, and I return to where I began, in the capital Accra. The celebrations were over, and the crowds have gone. The atmosphere was electric, and the people euphoric. But the reality is that Ghana is a very poor country when it should be rich. In the 21st century, foreign masters are still pulling the economic strings. But as consumers, we can make a difference. With our buying power, we can hold big corporations to account. We can demand that Europe and the United States end unfair trade practices. And we can insist that the IMF and the World Bank act in the interests of poor countries. Ghana may have its independence politically, but its economic independence is yet to be realized. I believe there needs to be a new war of independence for Africa. And in this new war, the soldiers are the consumers like you and me. This new war isn't about a military struggle, but it has to be militant. And in this new war, there has to be a slogan that drives us all forward. And it's not one settler, one bullet, but instead, trade justice for Africa.
If you'd like to follow up the issues raised by the programme, simply go to channel4.com/belief. Coming up next on 4, an evocative Chinese love story mixed with stunning martial arts. The multi-Oscar-winning Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.